Good afternoon, Soul Food. How are you doing? It's the first Saturday of the month, and on the first Saturday of the month on the afternoon, we have Seb Barnett here from Green Stag Spirit Work to present a presentation on shamanism. And I believe today's topics is daily practice and beliefs. Come on up, Seb.
Hello, hello. Gotta adjust the mic a little bit. It won't be set. So, as previously stated, I'm Seb. I'm the owner of Green Stag Spirit Work. I have a spiritual practice right here in King County. I do healing work for people, and I do cleansing of house spaces and workspaces, and I also have some courses available online, and there's handouts for those courses online. They go right to your email box right here on the tables. One's on meditation and the other one is on energy work. So if you're interested, pick up one of those papers and sign right up. It goes right to your email, and the meditation one is even free. So hey, can't go wrong with free things. Also, I'm going to be talking today about spiritual practices and beliefs. And I'm also going to be working on making a course based on you creating your own individual spiritual practice and customizing it to your own needs. So if you're interested in hearing about that and hearing about other events or talks that I do, you can sign up for the email list. Usually, it's the first Saturday of every month. I come here to Soul Food Books and do a talk on shamanism at 2 p.m. But sadly, next month, in November, I will not be here. So, mark it on your calendars, folks. You should still come on down and have a lovely cup of tea at Soul Food Books. But I won't be here. So, you'll have to just enjoy yourself without me. And good luck getting over your sugar high from Halloween. So today we're going to talk about daily practices and beliefs. The thing about spiritual practices, a lot of times we look in Western culture at the spiritual practices of other cultures and other countries, and we look at their holidays and we say, wow, that looks really awesome and exciting. I want to celebrate that holiday too. I want to do something special for that situation also. I want to have my own ritual. And all this fun, exciting stuff. And sometimes we get a little carried away with these occasional things that happen, such as the holidays and the occasional ceremonies or rituals. And in those situations, we get really excited and worked up. This is going to be awesome, going to do this big, huge, fancy thing. But then we forget about the daily practices, the simple, everyday things that make a solid spiritual practice and also make those holidays and those occasional ceremonies and rituals even more important and powerful and make a greater impact when we have an everyday spiritual practice also. In other cultures all over the world and many other spiritual practices, almost all of them have daily practices, whether it be daily meditation or physical meditation such as yoga or a martial arts practice, or even confession, things like that. Daily prayers, all sorts of things go into people's everyday spiritual practices. With a daily practice, you can build your skills and your focus and your ability to have a really amazing, beautiful life every single day. It's one of the ways that sometimes we overlook spirituality as being part of our everyday lives, being something that changes our lives on a day-to-day basis and makes our lives work out more smoothly and peacefully. So in those situations, having a daily practice makes a profound impact. And also, when you're interacting with spirits, it's really nice to have a daily practice where you're interacting with spirits, you're honoring them, you're giving them something, or you're making your requests known on a regular basis. In the same way that if you have like a relative or a friend that you only see at holidays or at a ceremonial event, they're probably one of the last people that you want to ask for really intense advice or help because you see them so rarely. And in the same way, we want the spirits to be able to know us, and that way they can have a better knowledge of how to help us out and also have more interest in helping us out. That's the other thing, that you don't always ask those relatives that you rarely see because they're less interested in helping you out because you've been part of their lives less. Spirits are the same way. Those spirits want you to have a relationship with them and want you to relate to them on a regular basis. Also, there's a lot of people who are interested in spirituality who are empathetic, which means that you pick up on the emotions and energy of other people. And for those people, a daily spiritual practice is also really important because it's a situation where you can energetically and emotionally and spiritually clean yourself up. So you don't have to carry around other people's emotions and energies throughout the rest of your day, night, life. You can get a certain point where you say, all right, it's time for me to wipe off everybody else's stuff and just be me. Get to go along through the rest of your day without the sprinkles of other people's emotions and energy on you. You get to be a plain donut, and it's going to be a very good thing. Plain donuts are very nice sometimes. It's also very important to remember and realize that you have spiritual needs. And when you take into consideration those needs, you can build up a spiritual practice based on what you need as an individual. In that way, you get one of the most creative and dynamic practices possible because it's custom made just for you and what you want in your life. Everyone's a little bit different. We all need slightly different things. And that's one of the great things about having a little bit of your own solo practice that's outside of a group is that you can build it just the way that you need to have it. That's also one of the things that I really love about shamanism is that there's so many cultures from all over the world that practice shamanism in so many different ways. And for me, I come to shamanism without the perspective of a particular culture or belief system. So because of that, I'm trying to find ideas from all these different cultures that will work well for me and also work well for other people. So it becomes a really fascinating smorgasbord. It's like a big, huge buffet. I love food way too much. You might notice this already. It's like a big, huge buffet, and you get to pick out whatever you'd like. Let's say that you really want a little bit of the clear head, and then on top of that, you're going to have a little bit of the cake of fun times and lighting candles and everything looking pretty. So we find good ways of spiritually nourishing ourselves while we're developing our own personal practices. It's also good to be practical when you're developing your own spiritual practice. When you look at a spiritual practice from the perspective of what do I need and what do I want, you create something that's really dynamic and exciting for you personally and works out really well. For me, when I first started getting into spirituality and sort of creating my own belief system and creating my own spiritual practice, I got really excited about all these really pretty things. And I was like, oh, for my daily practice, I'm going to anoint myself with oils and then spend some time in a blissful meditation. And then I'm going to light some candles. But I don't know why I'm doing any of this. So when I didn't know why I was doing anything and I didn't have a reason behind everything, I stopped doing it after a while. It lost its allure. Like, it was just a pretty fluffy thing that I did, and it was like, ooh, it's so pretty. It makes me feel special. But after a while, I got bored of that, and I started looking for what works. That was exciting to me. I needed to find what worked for me personally. So, based on that, I started doing things like meditating every day and contacting spirits every day and giving them little offerings and feeding them all sorts of different stuff, talking to my spirit guides on a regular basis. Those were the things that were really important for me personally. Also, another good question to ask is, how much time do you have? Really, our spiritual practices should be things that help us adapt to the rest of our lives. And if your spiritual practice can't adapt to the rest of your life, if you have to adapt your life to your spiritual practice, it gets a little tangly and it's a little bit difficult. So it's also important to find spiritual practices that work out well for your time limitations and constraints. For some people, that might be 5 minutes a day. For other people, it might be an hour a day. There isn't a better way of doing things. It's just a matter of what works for you. And for some people, it might be there's just little smatterings of your spiritual practice all over the place. So, like for me, when I am making myself a meal, I'll cut up an apple and put some apple slices up on the altar. That's part of my spiritual practice that happens on a regular basis, usually almost every day. And it's not something that I've set aside time for because I don't need to. It's such a small little thing. In the same way that people will say thanks for a meal before they start it up. It's not something that you have to set aside a whole lot of time for, but it has an impact on your life that's really special. I'm going to go over some basic things that people might need in their spiritual practices and how they could and what kind of practices correspond to those needs. So if you need to be more calm or need a spiritual cleansing, need to have good relationships with another spirit, and those other spirits can be people too. Need to have more powerful rituals, or need to be able to command attention if you're in a role of authority or a situation where you need to be able to lead people. So for saying that you are a more nervous person, you need something to calm you down, or maybe even that you find yourself at rare occasions getting really nervous and uptight and upset. Even those situations are things that you can prepare for ahead of time by having a regular spiritual practice. So if you're trying to be more peaceful and calm, meditation is excellent for this. Meditation on a regular basis, daily basis, really helps out and does profound things for the mind and the spirit. Physical meditations is a term that I use for things like yoga, martial arts, dance. It can even just be rocking back and forth. Little things. Little things make a big difference. And if you set aside a little bit of time every day, it builds up and helps you out a lot in the long run. Daily cleansing of yourself. Even if you don't believe that you're empathetic and you're picking up emotions from a lot of other people or energy, just having that daily cleansing of sort of a time to set aside your own emotions that have built up over time. And cleansing rituals can be small little things, and you can adapt them to your own needs. So your cleansing ritual could be something as simple as taking a shower. And while you're in the shower, you're chanting something that's very special and meaningful to you. And it doesn't even have to be something that profound or exciting or in another language. Like, it can be very appealing to have things be little theatrical and over the top and really awesome. But really what counts when you get down to it is like, does your brain understand it? Does your body get it? That's really what it gets down to. It has to be something that you can latch on to personally. So even little things like using a cedar smudge or a sage smudge or rose water. Rose water is also very cleansing. Using those for yourself can be a really good daily spiritual cleansing. Breathing exercises are also a really great way of finding your peaceful inner calm place, especially when it takes a place of, if you're trying to get rid of anxiety and tension that's built up in your body, all that emotional residue of like taking the deep breath, holding it for a little bit, letting it out. You can even say to yourself, I'm gathering this air into my body. I'm letting go of the tension that's there. Just simple things. Simple things can have a profound impact. So for somebody who's very empathetic and they're picking up a lot of energy or emotions from other people or other situations, things that can really help them are smudging once again with sage or cedar. There's also simple cleansing processes where you have a ritual set up, and the more you do the ritual, the more powerful it will become. My own cleansing ritual is very simple. I simply point to each one of the directions. I say, I'm calling the power of this direction for cleansing. It's really important for people who are empathetic to not only clean themselves spiritually, but also to clean the space that they're in. Because a lot of times we will pick up the energy and emotions of other people out in the world, maybe while we're at work, or just going about our day-to-day life at school, or even when you're grocery shopping. You bring it home, and then you dump it like cast-off luggage. And it stays in your home, and you're just sitting there stewing in all of this. So this is a situation where you want not only a cleansing practice internally, but a cleansing practice that is external, that is in the space that you live. So it could be something as simple as calling the directions for cleansing and looking up what other customs and what they have done. One of my favorite ones, and I really like doing this one with my niece and nephew. My niece is 5 years old and my nephew is 11. And so I want something simple that's a cleaning ritual that they can help me with. And they really get into this. I have these big brass bells, and we grab the bells and we start ringing them. And we march through the house ringing the bells. And the whole time we're saying, cleaning, 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 cleaning. And it's the most horrible ruckus possible. And it's really effective. And it's way too much fun. If that wouldn't work, I'd grab a pot and a pan and bang on that. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of having an energy that's going out, vibrating the air. That's what sound is. We got vibrations going through the air, and the vibrations going through the air can neutralize the energy that's built up in that space. Also, laughter is an excellent cleaning ritual. So the more you can laugh and have a good time while you're doing these cleansing rituals, the better. Laughter not only cleanses you internally, but it also cleanses you externally, or cleanses the space externally that you're in. Toning is also another good one that's sound-based. Just going through 8 notes, visualizing 8 different colors with those notes, having a beautiful impact on the space that you're in. And the thing is that when you're building a daily spiritual practice, the first couple times you're doing it, it might feel kind of awkward. I don't know if any of you have done martial arts, but the first time I went to a martial arts class, it was like, am I standing right? Where are my hips? I have to put fists out, and oh gosh, I didn't do everything right. So there's like 10 things you have to pay attention to. Martial arts are very similar to your daily spiritual practice. Everything takes practice. If it doesn't feel like you've had a great impact or the kind of impact that you want the first time around, practice, practice, practice. After a while, the impact that you have with your daily rituals, with your daily practice, will feel at ease with your mind and your body. And your subconscious and your muscle memory, everything will kick in to provide an excellent way of being. Maybe in your spiritual needs, you'd like to have a strong relationship with another spirit. This spirit could be a deity, could be a local spirit, an ancestor, your spirit guides, spirit helpers, all sorts of little spirits that are around. And each one of these is going to be a little bit different in how you interact with them. Deities are gods, goddesses, non-gender identified deities, all sorts of fun things. And with a deity, you want to either have a place, a little shrine to them in your house or outside your house. It depends on who you want to invite into your home. So, things about having a shrine that are really important. This is a sacred, special space. You need to clean it. You need to do a little dusting every now and then. And that can be part of your spiritual practice. Just little things like cleaning up can have a profound spiritual impact when you put that intention behind it. Most deities really enjoy offerings. I love to give little offerings of apples, maybe a little bit of beer here and there. If I'm having some beer, they get to have some beer. Glass of water. It doesn't have to be anything really exciting or amazing. A glass of water, a clean glass of water, for many spirits is very special. If it's a deity that you're working with, you can have exclamations of praise like, oh, Odin is so awesome. He does all these great things. He's always working on all this different stuff. He's so mysterious. He knows all this magic. He's really doing cool things. So you just say that to the altar or to the shrine as saying it, as if you were saying it to him. Like, oh my gosh, you are so cool. It doesn't have to be something that's pre-rehearsed. That's one of the things about your daily practice. It is the pre-rehearsal for your big ceremonies and rituals. Another thing you can do when it's a deity is that you can make prayers. You can say, please, I really need help with this thing. I've been really struggling with this. I think that you're a really awesome deity and can help me out. Just little things like that. Or even just telling the deity verbally where you're at, what's going on. Or it doesn't even have to be out loud. It can be just thoughts in your head, where you just sit down in front of your little shrine and you say, man, deity, I am having a really hard time with this thing. My day was really rough today. And even that can be a way of promoting peace and calm within ourselves. Just knowing that you're talking to a spirit that has an impact on your life. So with local spirits, they're usually the spirits of forests and streams, the air. They're spirits of local infrastructure, technology, things along those lines. There's spirits of bicycles and spirits of cars and all sorts of fun things. And in that case, you want to make your offering outside of your home, closer to where they are and more accessible to them. And it's really exciting to build up a relationship with those local spirits, and can be really, really wonderful to have that friend and ally out in the world that can help you with all sorts of little tasks and things. So leaving them little offerings and acts of kindness are really appreciated by local spirits. Little things like picking up trash. It's a big deal for local spirits. That's very important to them. Helping clean up trailways in a local park. Little things along those lines. It's very important to them. It's a great way for you to establish a good relationship with your local spirits. One of the local spirits that you would have offerings to inside your house is a house spirit. If you want to have a better relationship with your house spirit, leaving them things like, my house really enjoys a hot cup of tea. So I'll leave her a hot cup of tea every now and then, and just say things like, thank you so much for giving us shelter and being such a good little house. That's my deal. That's what I do. I talk to my house. And then I also ask the house to do things like keep the mice out or keep the spiders out and fun stuff like that. With ancestors, that's another good one, to have the offering space or a little shrine inside your house. So if you want to look into ancestor worship and working with your ancestors, it's really good to have a regular spiritual practice in which you honor your ancestors. Maybe it's your great-grandmother who you got to meet only a couple times before she passed away, but you have a picture of her up on your mantle, and you put her favorite kind of tea up there, or maybe a cup of coffee every now and then, and you say, Grandma, thank you so much for looking out for me. It's really lovely. Little things like that. And over time, ancestor spirits can really help us out with things like guiding us financially, if they were good with finances while they were alive, and helping us resolve conflicts with other family members, things along those lines. They're really good at that because they used to be human. There's just spirits now without their human bodies. But the fact is that they used to be human, and they care about you. They care about what kind of impact your life is having on the world and what kind of impact they can have on your life. So they're really good spirits to work with. But they are, once again, really good spirits to have a daily practice with. If you want to work with an ancestor and you just show up, you're like, great grandma, I want the thing. Help me with the thing. Your great grandma's probably like, I'm sorry, we haven't talked in so long. Why are you just contacting me out of the blue? This is kind of rude. So that's one of the ways it's really important to have a daily spiritual practice where you're honoring your ancestors and working with your ancestors. You build up relationships, and you continue to sustain those relationships with the spirits, no matter what kind of spirits they be. Spirit guides. Some people call them totems. I like calling them spirit guides because it's a little more open-ended. Some people say power animals, but I like calling them spirit guides because they're not always animals. So they're another really great spirit to interact with on a regular basis. Their job is to give you advice and help you out with your day-to-day life. They are very interested in your well-being. It's their job to be interested and excited in your well-being and to look after you and take care of you. So, checking in with your totems, your spirit guides, on a regular basis is really important and really can help out your life in many, many ways. And they really like it when you leave them little offerings, too. So that always helps. I like to give them exclamations of praise. Like, oh my gosh, the green stag is so awesome and wise. He really helps me out in so many different situations. I really love him. He is wonderful. I have nothing Nothing negative to say about my spirit guides. They're just the most awesome. Spirit guides are great. So those are little things that you can do to promote a good relationship with your spirit guides. If you have a need in your spiritual life to have more powerful rituals, then you'll want to customize your daily practice to have more meditation, probably more intense meditation too, where you really want to clear your mind of all thoughts so you have an intense power to focus. An intense power to focus really helps create the foundation and groundwork so you can have awesome rituals. If you want to have awesome rituals where you're impacting your life and making a different situation in the world than you would have had otherwise, you want to have a clear mind and the ability to focus very intently. Physical meditations can also be very helpful for that, whether it be yoga or dancing or martial arts. Those are all things that can be very great meditations to do on a regular basis. You might also want to do some more intense cleansing ceremonies, like instead of a cleansing ceremony to just calm your mind, bring you eternal peace, you might want a warm shower. If you want a cleansing situation to get yourself like really spiritually focused, you probably want a very cold shower. You want that to be the coldest shower you could possibly stand for that amount of time. And that just really raises the energy in your body and promotes focus. Another thing that's really good is chanting, doing something repetitively, whether it be something you're saying out loud or repetitive action, something to really get it in your head. And if you want really powerful rituals, then you can also rehearse the rituals on a daily basis to make it part of your subconscious and your muscle memory. And then when it's the day of, that's when you sort of pull out all the stops and make it really good. Bring in all the energy and intentions that you possibly can. One of the things that's really helpful is raising energy. This is a term that we use a lot for ritual situations. But what it really means is to connect into an energy source that's bigger than yourself and bring it up through your body and amplify it. And hold it for a while. It takes practice. It is like you have to develop a muscle for it. I know a lot of people who come through my shamanism classes and come to me during talks and things like that. They say, I tried this thing and it didn't work. Or I tried this thing and I wasn't able to keep it going for like more than 30 seconds. As well, you got to practice. You got to do this every single day. You got to work at it. You can't just sit down and expect it to work out great the first time. You have to find an energy source that works well for you. This can be something like the energy of the light from the stars, the energy from the earth itself, the energy just in the movement of the air. All sorts of fun little things are out there that are reciprocal to being used in your rituals and to be part of you for a moment. You have to find the one that works best for you, and then you have to practice holding it with you. If you are finding that in your spiritual practice you need to be able to command attention, this could be something as simple as you are in a leadership role at your job and you're having a hard time keeping the attention of other people, and you want to do everything you can to be a powerful but peaceful presence, to have a good impact on your coworkers and the people around you. Maybe you have a whole classroom of kids and you're having a hard time getting them all on board for something. And this way our spiritual practices can help us, one, calm down and not be so flustered about a situation. I don't know about you guys, but if there's a situation where I have to take on a position of leadership, it makes me all sorts of flustered. So having a daily spiritual practice where I'm working on holding that energy already, it really helps out a lot. You can be calm and confident through your spiritual practice. And when you're calm and confident, people are much more likely to listen to you and want to be able to work with you. So if you want to be able to command attention, meditation is a good one again. Just clearing your mind, being able to focus. Those are very important little things. Physical meditations, I think, are really good for commanding attention because a lot of times people are picking up on our body language. They're looking at us like, how much space do you take up? How often are you doing actions like this? People are watching and picking up on body language all the time. And through doing physical meditations such as yoga, dancing, and martial arts, little things like that, they can really help you get used to being in your body. A lot of times we don't always relate to being in our body and being present with other people. So it's very important and very helpful to have a physical presence that we're aware of how we're taking up space. Raising energy is another good one. If you're a low energy person, some people are just naturally have a lower amount of energy than other people, spiritual energy. And if you're in a situation where you need to have authority and command attention, it's good to have a higher amount of energy. So you can practice raising energy for this one also. It's another situation of you find an energy source, you tap into it, you pull it up into your body, and you hold it for a while, and you let it go. You hold it for a while, you let it go. You hold it for a while, and you let it go. And then you do it on a regular basis, like every day. Toning is also a really good one. Toning or singing, because a lot of times in situations where we need to command attention, we have to use our voices. So in situations where you have to use your voice, there should be some element of your spiritual practice that is vocal, that goes along with making noise. Chanting can also be another good one. You can chant something as simple as, I am calm, I am confident, I am aware. And just saying that repeatedly for like 5 minutes a day can be an excellent thing. And if you're able to do that while you're doing yoga or martial arts at the same time, even better. It's excellent. So those are some of the ways that you can customize your own daily spiritual practice to your needs. And another thing I wanted to touch on today, I'm very excited about this topic, and it's kind of a little bit of an odd topic. So, it's beliefs. Belief systems are kind of fun. I have a lot of fun with belief systems. Beliefs are ideas that we put faith in without scientific proof. That's the dictionary definition of a belief. And the best thing about them is you can change them if you want to. If you believe that it's hard to change beliefs, then it becomes more hard to change beliefs. If you believe that beliefs are easy to change, they get a lot easier to change. You get to choose what you believe and what you don't believe if you're not working within a specific tradition. And it becomes a really interesting situation where there's kind of so many different beliefs to choose from, and you have to figure out what's going to work. That's the key with beliefs that we forget a lot of times, is that beliefs, they have to work for you. They have to make your life better. If your beliefs are not working, don't have that one. That's it. You got to find something else, or you just leave that behind. I do not believe if I do good things that good things will happen to me. I don't believe that because it wasn't working for me to do something that I classified as good, and than to not see anything from it. To me, that was a big letdown. That was kind of harsh, and I didn't enjoy that. And so now I come at it from the perspective of everything I do that's a good thing is a gift. It's just a way that I am being. It's just what I'm doing. What I get out of it is how good I feel about doing that thing. And that's all I need. I don't need to believe that somebody else is going to do something nice to me because I did something nice for them, or some other person that had nothing related. It doesn't work for me. But here's the deal. Everyone's different. So if for you it does really work to believe that good things are happening to you because you are doing good things, excellent. Keep the belief. Work with it. It's your life. It's your choices. A lot of people come to me and they're like, Seb, I really want to believe in spirits. And I'm like, do it. You should just do it. And they're like, what? How do I believe in spirits? I've never seen one. I've never talked to one. And I was like, you just got to start talking to them, knowing that they're there. You got to believe that they're there, and then they'll impact you. It's a funny little thing. And I know for fact that within 24 hours, you will always have a good... No. So that's the thing, is there's not a timeline. It could be 2 weeks. It could be 2 years until you have a situation where you're like, oh, that's the profound impact that the spirits are having on my life. It could be 2 hours. I don't know. It's your life. It's all sorts of things. I have other people come up to me and be like, I want to believe in magic. I want to believe that I can change reality through ritual and through intentions. I'm like, yes, do it. And they're like, but how? Is there proof out there? I was like, no, that's not a belief. If something is scientifically provable, it's not a belief anymore. It's science, which science is great, and I love science, and I don't like getting my beliefs mixed up with science. It's just a big mess. I don't need my beliefs to be provable. If you need your beliefs to be provable, you should become a scientist. And that's that. But what you do need to do is sit down and say, if I believe this, does it help me? Does it make my life better? Does it make me behave in a way that is kind or unkind to other people? Do my beliefs hold me back? These are the important things that you need to look at when you're picking and choosing your beliefs and you're honing your spiritual practice. There are many things in this world that cannot be scientifically proven. And why prove them if we can believe in them and still benefit from them? We can have really good lives while making the world a better place just by holding on to these beliefs that work for us. What works? Is the best question to ask when it comes to your own spiritual practice or your own beliefs. Once again, I'm Seb. I'm the owner of Green Stag Spirit Work, a healing shamanic business right here in Western Washington, in King County, right in your backyard. I have some courses available online, and there's handouts for those. There's the meditation course and an energy work course. The meditation course is even free, so hey, even better. Also, I'm working on a course for developing your own spiritual practice and customizing it to your own needs, and we'll go into even more detail, and you should sign up for the email list if you're interested in when that comes out. The email list is down there on that table, and also, pick my brain! I would love to hear from you guys and any questions or anything like that, and I hope you will come and harass me. I love it. I love all the harassment. It's good stuff. next month in November, I will not be here for the first Saturday to do a talk on shamanism. I will be somewhere else doing other things. And I assume that you will be getting over a post-Halloween sugar hangover. So I hope you all have a wonderful time, and hopefully I'll see you guys back here in December when I come back to do another shamanism talk. Thank you very much.